When we're looking for answers to life's biggest questions, two really powerful ideas always seem to pop up. This idea of being saved and the idea of reaching enlightenment. Today, we're going to dive into the huge difference between the salvation you find in monotheistic traditions and the Satori, or awakening, that's right at the heart of Buddhism.
And at first glance, you might think they're kind of the same thing, right? I mean, both promise some kind of ultimate freedom from suffering. But as we're about to see, the way they work, their fundamental logic, are just worlds apart.
So here's the big question we're tackling today. Are these just two different languages trying to describe the same ultimate goal? Or are we talking about two completely separate mountains altogether?
All right, let's kick things off with the logic of salvation. This is absolutely central to monotheistic faiths like Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The core idea here is all about a relationship with a higher, all-powerful being.
So, the word for this in Japanese is sukui, which means salvation or rescue. And in this way of seeing things, the idea is that we're kind of stuck in suffering or sin, and we just can't get out by ourselves. That rescue has to come from somewhere else, from a higher power, God.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Check out the structure of this relationship. It is a one-way street. The subject, God, performs the action of saving, and the object is the human. This creates a very clear, very fundamental separation between the one doing the saving and the one being saved.
And that brings us to a really crucial point. In this view, your own efforts, trying to be a good person, while that's important, it's ultimately not enough to get you salvation. It's not about racking up enough good deed points to earn your way in. No, it's an act of grace. It's a gift from a divine power.
Okay, so now let's completely flip the script and look at a totally different way of thinking. We're going to turn to the path the Buddha laid out, which isn't about being saved from the outside, but about waking up from within. The key word here is Satori, which means enlightenment or awakening. See, this isn't about waiting for a rescue. It's about realizing a deep truth from inside yourself, seeing reality for what it really is, and by doing that, you free yourself.
Okay, now look at this. This structure completely flips the last one on its head, doesn't it? Here, the subject, the one doing the action, is oneself. And the object, the one being acted on, is also oneself. The subject and the object are exactly the same. You are both the rescuer and the one being rescued.
And this is captured perfectly in a famous teaching from the Buddha. The responsibility and really the power for your own freedom lies completely within you. You don't wait around for some external savior. You become your own refuge.
So you can see the path to enlightenment is this deeply personal inward journey. It's all about training your mind, understanding how it works, and in the end, mastering yourself. The whole journey is inward, not outward. Okay, let's put it all together. When you put these two worldviews right next to each other, the fundamental difference really just boils down to one simple question. Who or what is doing the saving? This table just makes it crystal clear, right? With salvation, the source of power is external. It comes from God, and the core idea is reliance. You have a subject saving a separate object. But with enlightenment, that power is all internal. The principle is self-effort, or jiko doryoku in Japanese, where the subject and the object are one and the same.
But wait, it gets even more interesting. Because within Buddhism itself, there's a huge school of thought that seems to kind of break this rule. And by looking at this apparent exception, we can actually understand the core difference even better.
And maybe you're already thinking this, especially if you know about Pure Land Buddhism. You might be saying, hey, hold on a second. What about relying on the power of Amida Buddha? And that is an excellent point. It really seems to blur the lines.
Yeah, so this school is all about a concept called tariki, which literally means other power, the power of another. The idea is that for us, right now, it's just too hard to reach enlightenment on our own. So instead, we can rely on the promise of Amida Buddha to be reborn in his Pure Land, where it's much, much easier to become enlightened.
But here's the twist. This is the crucial difference. Amida's other power is like the vehicle that gets you to the Pure Land. It's an incredible helping hand. But once you get there, that final step, the actual act of becoming a fully awakened Buddha, that still depends on your own effort. So even here, the core Buddhist idea of self-realization is still there right at the very end. So where does that leave us? We've looked at two totally different ways of thinking about finding ultimate peace. Let's wrap this all up.
There's this quote from an early Buddhist text that just perfectly summarizes the whole perspective. The Buddha saw himself as a guide,
someone who could show you the map. But you, and only you, have to actually walk the path. He can't carry you there.
So in the end, we're left with these two very different approaches to life's biggest problems. One is a path of faith, of putting your trust in a transcendent external power. And the other is a path of looking inward, of waking up this powerful internal ability to free yourself.
And look, the point here isn't to say one is better than the other. They're just fundamentally different operating systems for understanding ourselves and the universe. So the final question is really for you. When you think about the challenges in your own life, which of these two logics, trusting something outside of you or cultivating something inside of you, which one resonates more deeply?